All right. Welcome to another episode of the Azure SDK Community Standup. My name is Héctor Norzagaray, and I'm a product manager working for the Azure SDK team. And I'm excited to be your host for today's session. It's great to have you with us as we talk about some of the new releases that have been, uh, live in the last quarter. The Azure SDK team has been hard at work over the past few months, striving to bring you a range of new features and improvements, and we're thrilled to share the results of our efforts. We're confident that these latest releases will enhance your experience and empower you to build more robust, efficient, and scalable applications. All right, so let's get started. So, for today, we're just going to be talking about the latest releases for the last couple of months. But before we get there, I wanted to show you the introduce you to the Azure SDK PM team. We have people working in all the services and SDKs and so, for example, we have in Python we have Rohit in storage, and OpenAI cognitive services we have Arun. For .NET we have Scott Addy. So I mentioned this because if you're using one of our SDKs or one of the services and you have any feedback or you have any questions or any problems getting into something, so you can always reach out to us. Most of us are on Twitter. If not, we are on GitHub. So I put there the contact information. We're always happy to hear feedback from the users um, and do some changes from that one. For today, we're going to be talking about some of the new releases for the last couple of months, like I mentioned, for the last quarter. And I have my co-host Sandeep here with me today. Sandeep, hello.
Hey, hey
How are
Hector.
you? How's it
I'm
going?
good. Nice to be with you.
Yeah. Thank you for coming again to talk about some of the releases that we've done in the last couple of months. Um, so let's see. So first of all, I'm Hector. I'm the JavaScript PM, TypeScript, and I'm also Search AI PM. That's one of my services. And Sandeep, can you do
Yeah,
some?
I basically deal with Java and Go and couple of other fundamental services like Key Vault.
Perfect. That's pretty big. All right. Let's see. So let's talk about some of the initial releases. When I say initial releases, is a stable release, and then some initial beta releases. For example, in February, we had some OpenAI assistance for .NET and Java. We had some libraries for image analysis for JavaScript. Uh, for March, we had communication messages for .NET and Java, uh, and then we had help insights for Python, JavaScript, Java. We also had monitor query, OpenAI assistance for Go, and stuff like that. Let's see. For April, we had Dev Center for .NET and Evergreen for Go. We also had Azure Communication Messages, among others. I'm just
Yeah.
yeah.
So for initial beta releases, we would love your feedback. So if you have any feedback on the releases or you find anything weird going on, just let us know on GitHub. Create a issue. It's a public repo, and we'll try to fix it or try to give you a better experience. And same goes for like stable releases as well. We'll try to make the experience better in our next release.
And I also like hearing what they're doing with the products that we put out too. It's like some people are finding very creative use cases with that one. So I'm always happy to hear and talk a little bit about what you're doing. All right. So Sandeep, you're here today and you're going to show us something. So can you tell us a little bit about it, or we can just go straight up?
Yeah. So what I'm trying to show here is we have a new beta release for document intelligence, and which is basically a service where you can upload a document or give a URL link to a document, and it will find all the good things on that document. Like, let's say it's a driver's license, it will find all the details about the driver license, and then you can do something with it, right? So it's a new AI, Azure AI Doc Intelligence, and I'm going to show you how to use it. So let me start sharing. Hmm. So yeah, so let's start with VS Code. You'll just go and provision your the service, doc intelligence service. That's super normal. There's nothing special in there. Just create a service, get your API keys, and get the endpoint. Put that endpoint in environment file, and let's start with Python today. So put your environment, put your key and the key and the endpoint in your environment file, which I'm not going to show, but believe me, it's there. So I'm reading the endpoint and the key from the environment file. And then basically, what this is, it's a server which I've created. It's a Flask server which takes your input document as the message and then dumps out the response by going through that thing, that document. So how do we do that in Python? So in Python, what you need to do is you need to create a client. And to create a client, what you need to do is provide a endpoint and a key. So you create a document intelligence client, provide an endpoint, and key goes in Azure key credential. And that way you get the client. Let's see where I'm using it. And I'm using it here. So this is going to be a long running process. It's a long running call because it takes some time to analyze the document. So what it does is we create a polar, which is a standard model for us in Azure SDK, and then we call this function called analyze document. We pass in the model ID, what we want to uh, we what kind of model we want to use, and then we pass the source URL and the locale. Now, what kind of model you want to use? In this case, I want to use a ID document model. Maybe going through a this is a pre-built model which is already there. Maybe I'm going through a passport or a driver's license. I want to do that, so I'll pass that in, and I'll poll till I get a result. Once I get the result, I get the document and convert that document into a dictionary, and then JSONify it and dump it back to my caller. So why don't I actually run this and show you what's going on as well. So I'll also open something in a new window. Let's first look at what is kind of a request I'm sending. I'm sending a URL of the document. Let's do identity document. Like this is the URL, and let's see what's in this URL. It's a picture of a driver's license. I think it's a empty picture of a driver license. Yeah, Chris Smith, something something. It's a driver's license from fake West Virginia. It's not a real driver's license, by the way. So I sent pass this URL to my server, and which takes the thing and does something. So I'm firing this query, and it will take some time, and it will get something back. So it got me all the polygons, and it said, oh, it's a driver's license from Main Street, Charleston, and it got the address, and it'll get the name, date of birth, and whatnot. So you see, date of birth is here, name is here, and whatnot. So it's basically reading this document and finding me everything what I need from this. This was using a pre-built model for identity document. We can do the same thing for uh, yeah, for let's do receipt. So let's see what kind of receipt is this. And so it's somebody bought a Surface Pro 6 and a Surface Pen from Contoso. So let's fire this guy up and see.
Is that a PNG or a
It's an image.
any
It's
image?
yeah, it can be a JPEG or even a PDF. Doesn't matter. Yeah.
Perfect.
So yeah, it got Surface Pro 6, and it also got a Surface Pen, and there are polygons as well, and it gave you the price. You can do something out of it. So yeah, so we can do these things. Now, your question might be, what kind of languages do we support? We support, I'm going to shut down the server. We support Java, JavaScript, Python, and .NET. So this is how you do it in Python. Now let's look at something nearer to Python like JavaScript and look at what's going on. So this is my Nest.js app. Has nothing special in it. I have a controller which has these three endpoints and trying to get something the same results out of those endpoints. And the important thing here is service. Here also I have an end file. I'm getting the key and the URL, and now I'm trying to create a client. Let me check, where did I create the client? I think I created the client up somewhere here. Uh, Maybe, let's see.
Control F.
Uh, Actually, yeah, it's here. So what I do is, let's see where actually I created the client. Yeah, here I created the client document intelligence, and I passed just a API key and the endpoint, and it created the client for me. And at the bottom, uh, using a async process here, but to the client I provided a path to the like details of the path to the model, and the model again can be ID document, can be a pre-built receipt, or can be a pre-built invoice. There is whole lot of documentation on what kind of pre-built models we have, passing the URL and passing the locale. And in this particular one, I'm not only sending the document back, but I'm also analyzing the document here, and trying to find at least there is one document, and I can get this JSON back and try to print out, hey, what kind of doc type it is. So if you look at uh, this Python identity document, you'll see I didn't push any what kind of doc type it is. I just printed the raw JSON. But here in JavaScript, let me run this JavaScript. Where's my Nest app? Yeah. So when I run this, uh, let it start. When I run this, I am expecting to see that it identifies that it's okay. Let's wait for it. Yeah, it's running. Okay, I should change my thing to JavaScript and send this. And I'm expecting a doc type like driver's license, the same license, but this time I did something extra in it. And I can run the same old. I can do an invoice as well. Maybe let's do an invoice. Let's see what kind of data is in this invoice. So it's a sales invoice for $100 for some consulting service we provided, or Contoso provided. Let's see what kind of results I get in. And $610 of some service. Oh yeah, total due is $610. I didn't see that, but there are some service for $100 as well, and addresses and whatnot. So yeah, and so this one, let me kill this guy for now. So in this one, basically same kind of polar, but very idiomatic to JavaScript. I do a polar, I run it as done, get the body and dump it back. And let's go to Java for now. In Java, what I created was a Spring Boot app. Everything is on my YAML, which I'm not going to show because it has secrets. Don't put secrets in YAML. But this is a demo. So it's a standard Spring Boot app, and in the controller, what I'm doing is in Java, instead of doing a client, we use client builders. So what I'm trying to do is build the client with the client builder, Doc Intelligence client builder, and passing it a key credential and endpoint and build client, which returns me a client, Doc Intelligence client. So in Java, we are using idiomatic builder factory kind of uh, uh, paradigm, and that's what we do. Again, passing the same thing, model ID, locale, and the URL source, and it should give me, and this it should give me a final result as a document, and converting that document into straight up JSON using a Jackson JSON converter parser. Nothing special. So let me run this.
Is this
Oh,
one?
I didn't start the server. So let me start the server. Debug in Java.
Can you get the document type also in that JSON?
I can if I want to,
Okay.
but right now I haven't written code for that.
Okay.
Uh,
And I only mentioned that because I was just curious if all of the core languages that are supporting this have the same functionality.
all of the languages have exactly the same functionality, but you do it separately. Like in Java, you're using document builder, but whereas in JavaScript, you're using something else,
Mm-hmm.
like JavaScript native stuff. So,
Mm-hmm.
so I just changed my environment to Java, and here we have an invoice, and let's do identity document. I'm sending the same document, by the way, so we are getting same results, but you can change something else.
Interesting.
And of course, we have for .NET as well. And in .NET, I created a controller, a simple controller. Actually, I used the .NET CLI to generate this project for me. Created a simple controller. From this controller, all I do is call this analyze service, and in this analyze service, what do I do? I create from the environment. I get endpoint and keys, and generate a client. In here, unlike Java, we don't use builder and factory patterns, so we directly create the environment. Client object. From that object, I pass the URL and I pass the model, and I get the result and convert that result to JSON. So uh, let's see. Let me run this as well. So let me change it to .NET and send it. Yeah, the server is not running. Server is not running. Server is not running. And let me just debug .NET. And
What is the name of the package if somebody wants to start using it?
yeah, I'll go through all that.
Perfect. Yeah, that's an interesting one. Where was it when I had to do everything manually? You know.
So since I used template, it already gives me swagger through Swashbuckle, but I'm not going to use it. I'm rather using my Insomnia. I like this tool. Uh, so Analyze Invoice gave me all the invoice stuff. So even the results are same across languages. There's not a lot of difference because it's the same service. And I'm going to stop this guy here and kill the terminal. So what are we looking at here? Let's first look at importing it. Sorry. Uh, so I am importing it as Azure.ai.document intelligence in .NET, whereas in Java it's it Azure-AI dash document intelligence. Let me open and show it side by side. Yep. So it's Azure AI Document Intelligence. Here it's Azure AI Dash Document Intelligence.
Mhm.
Let's go to other two.
Python and JavaScript.
Yep. In JavaScript, where is my package.json? It is going as uh, at Azure dash REST AI dash document intelligence, and in Python it is going as Azure dash AI dash document intelligence. So this name is more or less the same,
Hmm.
uh, going through the convention, but how you get the packages are different. We are available in all major package provider: Maven, npm, pypi, and NuGet. And let's also review how different the languages are quickly. This is a service call for JavaScript, sorry, Python. Let me go to JavaScript. Oh,
Double click.
no, I want to double click opens another window, which I don't want to. And I want to show all four together. .NET. So you create a client in however way you want, a new client or directly instantiate client, or in Java through client builder. Then you call the client and pass in the path and call the poller to analyze the result in JavaScript. In Python, you create the client, you call the poller and call begin analyze document. And in Java, you actually instantiate an object called sync polar, and from there you again call the method with the same name, begin analyze document. And in JavaScript, you call analyze document. But in general, what you're doing is you're instantiating the same kind of polar, getting the same results, and passing it as JSON. So we are available in these four languages, as you might have seen from. Let's go to package JSON. Uh, we are at 1.00 beta 2. We would love your feedback. Let me know if there are, just create a GitHub issue if you see any feedback, or reach us to in Twitter, and we'll try to fix it. We love your feedback, and please do use this service, and let us know how do you feel about it. uh, and I'll stop sharing with that. With that, we do have, so I'm going to, after I finish the stream, I'm going to upload all this code to this URL. Feel free to use it. It's on GitHub. It's a starter sample. uh, Find and let us know what goes on, and that's pretty much what I had today.
Wow, that was pretty good actually, and I like seeing the fact that you can do the same stuff and expect the same results in these, at least in these four languages. So thank you for showing us that. Another
Sure.
thing, yeah.
No, I was just saying sure, and the it's not only for this service; it's for all services you use. At least expect similar results for all four languages like .NET, JavaScript, Java, and Python. And you should have all full coverage of all services there. And if you see anything missing, let us know. We always fix it.
Yeah, exactly. That's one of the things that we're looking for when in the Azure SDK, right? Like have the same functionality across all those languages. So yeah, another thing that I wanted to mention is every month we publish a blog with the new releases. You can always go to the aka.ms AZSDK release slash release releases, and you can actually subscribe, and you every month you're gonna get a confirmation or an email saying, it's live, and these are the new releases for the month. You can always go to GitHub and find us there at the Azure SDK GitHub to give us, or you can just do PRs or submit an issue or something, and that way we can triage it and pay attention to what's happening. You can follow us on Azure SDK on X, formerly known as Twitter. We are active on there, and you can just reach out to us directly there. You can contribute, and you can subscribe to the blog for the Azure SDK, where we do technically what Sandeep did, but in written form with all the links and the samples and everything. We write some blogs about what is happening. Uh, we are on Stack Overflow. We pay attention to there. And I want to mention this, the Azure AI samples. There's a lot of samples if you go to that link, the aka.ms slash AZAI.
ACAI. Yep.
I have issues pronouncing that one. Anyway, thank
Yeah.
you so much, Sandeep, for this one. We're going to be working more on more content in the next couple of months. And yeah, just subscribe. Do you have anything else to add? Something that I might have forgot to say?
No, no. Just give us feedback. How do you like the library, and let us know.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
I think with this, we are technically done. Thank you so much, and
Yep.
we'll be back.
Thank you for watching.
Thank you.